Here we go.
What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown. And if you're new here, welcome. Oh yeah, this Band-Aid, by the way, I pinched my finger really hard on something and it started bleeding. So that's just in case anyone was wondering. But anyway, finally my 2022 Atlanta Falcons mock draft video is here. And before we get started, there are two things to note here. For one, if you follow me on Twitter, I already kind of spoiled who I'm gonna pick, but even if you saw the mock draft that I posted, you're probably wondering why I even picked those players in the first place. So we are gonna go over exactly why I picked all of those players in this video. But two, I'm not feeling the greatest, so if my voice kind of sounds super scratchy, I hope it doesn't pick up all that much on camera, but in case it does, I hope a scratchy voice doesn't affect this video all that much. I hope it's not unlistenable, unwatchable, whatever, because it's a video. But and also I'm probably gonna have to edit out a lot of moments in this video because it seems like every time I'm talking I feel like kind of a cough coming up. So I'm just not feeling good, but the show must go on, and there still should be a mock draft for the best fan base in the world and you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So at pick number 8, I got Jermaine Johnson, the edge out of FSU. Obviously, edge is a huge need for the Falcons. Okay, let me clarify. Everything on this team is a huge need for the Falcons, but I think pass rush is still nonetheless the biggest need for the Falcons because it seems like we haven't ever had a good pass rush. Ever, honestly, ever since we entered the league in 1966. That's basically what it feels like. So at some point, you kind of need to address the pass rush and actually find good pass rushers, kind of like Jermaine Johnson. Why not get all these bigger pass rushers instead of undersized defensive linemen like Thomas Dimitroff would always get? So hopefully you can get Jermaine Johnson, Falcons. And also he's coming off of a great school that knows how to develop good defensive players anyway, like Jalen Ramsey and Brian Burns and whatnot. So I think this is kind of a no-brainer if you're at least trying to go defense, especially in a defensive draft like this where all of the defensive players for the most part are supposed to, or at least early on in the draft, are supposed to help you day one. And I think Jermaine Johnson is that kind of player. So this would be an awesome pick for us. The next player on this list is George Pickens, the wide receiver out of Georgia. I will finally admit that wide receiver is a bigger need for us than I was kind of in denial of early on in the year. Early in the year, I made all these rants saying, no, do not get a wide receiver early in the draft, especially in the first round. And then after that, I made a video saying why I kind of wouldn't understand why we need a wide receiver. And here I am basically just admitting, we should probably go wide receiver early on. Now, I get why we wouldn't, because we don't have a quarterback yet. Obviously, sometimes you need to know who your quarterback is before you just get a receiver. But I think, nonetheless, our new quarterback coming in for next year, because next year's quarterback class is much better than this year's, I think he would appreciate a little bit of help instead of the roster that he has now. I mean, look at these receivers like Olamide Zaccheaus, Christian Blake, really. I think he would like a little bit of help. Especially with an offensive genius in Arthur Smith. So I think George Pickens would be a good pick here. Also knowing that he's playing for his state that he played college football in. So I don't know if that means anything, but the fans would be excited. So I don't know if that would bring in more energy for him, but I don't know. Either way, I think this would be a good pick. This next player, I don't seriously think is going to land in our lap, but Drake Jackson, maybe he will. But if he does, the Falcons have themselves an awesome pass rushing duo finally with Grady Jarrett, Jermaine Johnson, and now Drake Jackson. Wow, that is an awesome pass rushing duo. And again, I don't seriously think he's going to land in our lap, but in case he does, that is who I would pick immediately. Good player, especially in a strong defensive class like this. Falcons need defense really bad, but especially on the pass rush. So this was honestly a no-brainer. Go ahead and get Drake Jackson if he's there. The next player is Ed Ingram, the offensive lineman out of LSU. So this is more just because in case Jalen Mayfield is seriously that bad, you might want to get a replacement with a really good offensive lineman. Now, do I seriously think that Ed Ingram or not Ed Ingram, Jalen Mayfield. Do I seriously think he's going to be as bad as he was in year one? Not really, but just in case, because some people are saying he's like one of the worst picks of all time, might as well just get a replacement. So that's all I can really say on that. But I mean, outside of that, he is a good offensive lineman that is still kind of staying local in the South for whatever that's worth. So that would be a good pick. The next player, speaking of the South, we're going to get another Georgia Bulldog, and that is Shannen Tyndall, the linebacker out of Georgia. And this is more just because we lost Foye Oluokun, and we need a bigger thumping linebacker like Shannen Tyndall. Because Deion Jones is not a thumping linebacker. In fact, I know the Falcons tried to keep Foye Oluokun, and ultimately they couldn't. But, man, it still sucks that it wasn't, like, okay, no offense, but it wasn't Deion Jones that left. I would have been more okay if Foye Oluokun stayed and Deion Jones was gone, but whatever. So we're going to get Shannen Tyndall out of Georgia, and hopefully that will not replace Foye Oluokun, but be a good, a good linebacker that hopefully is ready for us as soon as he joins the team. And then the last pick that I actually feel good about on here, to be honest with you, is Carson Strong, the quarterback out of Nevada. Now, I'm not saying that I chose this because I think he's going to be our franchise quarterback, because he's not. There's no way he's going to be our franchise quarterback. He's just not. I just don't think the value is there yet for Carson Strong. I think he's got a lot to prove. But I don't think he's a bad prospect either. He was an interesting player out of Nevada. And listen, Josh Rosen, what's he going to do? Like, come on. And then Marcus Mariota, maybe he could mentor Carson Strong a little bit. So just, I don't know, see what you got in Carson Strong, at least a little bit. But you're probably still going to go for a quarterback in next year's class. But just maybe a little shot at Carson Strong just to see what it's like. And then honestly, the rest of these players, I'll be real with you, I don't feel good about it at all. But I just simply went with the best player available at position of need, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to go into a lot of depth on these guys, but I'll kind of just explain it the best I can. The next player is Vidarian Lowe out of Illinois, the offensive tackle. I don't know a lot about him, but he was okay at Illinois, I guess. Just in case Caleb McGarry is not going to be here for much longer, because he won't. Maybe Vidarian Lowe could be kind of a long-term answer at right tackle, but I'm probably not expecting it. But, more offensive lineman is always helpful. Then Eric Johnson, the interior defensive lineman. This is kind of because of two things. For one, I don't know if Grady Jarrett's going to be here for a lot longer, but I'm expecting he will, because you would think Grady Jarrett is kind of like, I proved that I'm a good pass rusher, but I would like to be on a winning team. But apparently he likes it here, so I don't know. But just in case, we could maybe find, a quick plug-in at interior defensive lineman, just in case anything happens to Grady Jarrett. But he is still a good player, and I think this will be a good fit. And then the last player is a corner, Mario Goodrich from Clemson. For one thing, Falcons are pretty good with these Clemson DBs, but also Mario Goodrich is a good, solid corner, and I think he would actually be a lot better at nickel corner anyway than he would at a starting outside corner, because I don't think the Falcons would seriously draft him and think, yeah, he's going to be our future corner number 2. They just don't view him that way. I think he would be like a solid nickel corner. So they're not expecting a lot from him, but they're not expecting him to fail either. Because Isaiah Oliver, as good as he played last year, he's still got a lot to prove for me. And if he doesn't stay here for a lot longer, I feel like I keep saying the whole player won't be here for much longer thing. But just in case Isaiah Oliver isn't here in the long run, we maybe would have a good plug in at nickel corner. But that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And other than that, I will see you guys with my reaction to whoever the Falcons get at pick number 8 this Friday. Love and appreciate you all for the support. And as always, rise up.